BlackRock is a company so influential that even the richest country in the world, the United States, often turns to it for help. Whether it was the 2008 economic crisis or the 2020 COVID pandemic, whenever questions have arisen about America's dominance, BlackRock has come to the rescue. And not just America. Today, BlackRock manages over $10 trillion in funds worldwide. To grasp the magnitude of this number, consider that India, with its 3.7 trillion GDP, is the fifth largest economy in the world. BlackRock manages assets more than 2.5 times that amount. When countries need money, they turn to BlackRock. This company operates like a shadow bank. From the food we eat to the water we drink and the medicines we take when we're ill, BlackRock has some level of control over all these aspects. Not only that, during the Russia-Ukraine war, when Ukraine's economy was in shambles, President Zelensky handed over control of Ukraine's funds directly to BlackRock. Despite all this control, if you haven't heard of this company yet, it's because BlackRock prefers to stay out of the limelight to keep its shady dealings hidden. That's why it has control over many of the world's top media outlets. So today in this video, we'll explore BlackRock. We'll see how this company has managed to dominate almost every economic activity globally, how developed countries seek its help when their economies falter, how it operates like a real-life Illuminati, and most importantly, how it hires U.S. government officials to create laws in its favor and become richer. This video will be quite interesting, so stay tuned till the end to understand the history of BlackRock and Larry Fink. Before we start, let's first understand the company's history and its founder's story to see how it became a powerhouse in the finance world in such a short time. BlackRock was founded by Larry Fink. Larry Fink was born into a modest Jewish family in America with a keen interest in finance and the stock market. He realized that money's power is greater than political power. The one with money can control national leaders and governments. Hence, in 1976, he started working as a security trader at an investing firm in America, Bassett First. Within just 3 years, he was promoted to the position of managing director. At the age of 31, he achieved this milestone and generated a $1 billion profit for the company, which significantly boosted his status in the finance world. However, in 1986, a small mistake during a calculation caused the company to lose $100 million. Larry was soon to become the CEO, but this error led to his dismissal. Larry was deeply affected by this. He decided never to work for anyone else again. Later, he joined forces with Steve Schwarzman, the founder of Blackstone. Steve recognized that Larry could be a crucial asset for him. Steve provided Larry with $5 million, and together with 7 other partners, Larry started Blackstone Finance Management Limited. In a way, this marked the foundation of BlackRock in 1988. The company rapidly grew, and by 1994, it was managing assets worth $53 billion. Big companies began entrusting Blackstone with their funds. However, in 1994, Steve separated himself from the company, selling his 35% share for $240 million. Steve considers this his biggest mistake, as had he not sold those shares, their value would have exceeded $50 billion today. Steve's departure didn't affect Larry much, and he renamed the company BlackRock. Despite the name change from Blackstone to BlackRock, investors continued to trust the company. In 1999, BlackRock launched its first IPO at $14 per share and received $900 million in funding. Within a few months, the company was managing $165 billion in assets. Larry Fink knew that to move forward, he needed to eliminate his competitors, so he began acquiring competing companies. In 2006, he bought Merrill Lynch, and in 2009, he took over Barclays Global Investors. With these acquisitions, BlackRock's path was clear, and since then, the company has never looked back. Today, BlackRock is considered the world's most powerful asset management company, managing funds for many countries and companies. It regulates insurance funds, pension funds, bonds, securities, and stocks. Additionally, it deals in the real estate sector. BlackRock now has over 89 offices across 38 countries and clients in more than 100 countries. The company manages over $10 trillion in assets. To put this into perspective, $10 trillion is more than the GDP of every country except the US and China. However, BlackRock didn't achieve this massive success by chance. The company has made several controversial decisions, many of which are still debated. During the economic crises of 2008 and 2020, when the world was in turmoil, BlackRock made significant profits. In 2008, during the Lehman crisis, while the economies of major countries, including the US, were collapsing, BlackRock's income increased by 23%, which was surprising. Furthermore, BlackRock played a crucial role in helping the U.S. recover from the economic crisis. When the government sought Larry Fink's solutions, he decided to lend money to banks in which his company had stakes. Some people even believe that Larry Fink may have played a role in creating the economic crisis. His debt syndicate policy led to the Lehman crisis, as BlackRock invested heavily in areas with low chances of recovering funds, resulting in the crisis. Similarly, during the 2020 COVID pandemic, BlackRock showed profits and helped several companies avoid bankruptcy. Moreover, the company hires many former government officials for high positions, claiming that their experience in running sectors is valuable. However, data shows that these officials, when they return to politics or government roles, create laws that benefit BlackRock, such as tax savings. For example, DE and ADMO, former employees of BlackRock, were once members of Barack Obama's National Economic Council and now work under President Biden. Even Kamala Harris was a former BlackRock employee and is currently the Vice President of the U.S. Additionally, Michael Pyle, former Global Chief Investment Strategist at BlackRock, was part of Obama's government before joining BlackRock and is now a Chief Economic Advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris. Naturally, any policy created is likely to benefit BlackRock, which is why most of America's money is managed by BlackRock. Even during the COVID pandemic, the U.S. Federal Reserve awarded an emergency fund management contract to BlackRock's consulting arm, FMA, without any bidding. BlackRock regulates every industry. BlackRock, by controlling the U.S. government, now controls the entire world. The company holds stakes in major companies like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Walmart, and McDonald's. Even transactions made with credit or debit cards benefit BlackRock. BlackRock has also invested in several Indian companies. Regarding its biggest holdings, BlackRock has significant stakes in Ford and other major companies. When BlackRock buys shares of a company, it often leads to a surge in that company's stock prices, making it very profitable for them. Recently, in April 2024, BlackRock purchased shares worth 207 crore rupees in two Indian companies, Electro Steel Castings and PTC India Limited, causing an 11% rise in their stock prices. In China, BlackRock's influence is growing. Despite the U.S. banning investments in Chinese companies and blacklisting many, BlackRock continues to invest in these companies. BlackRock's presence in China's real estate market and mutual fund sector is increasing. In the future, Larry Fink might even have China under his control. While BlackRock claims to be environmentally and socially friendly, it also invests in companies responsible for climate change and fossil fuels. BlackRock holds a 6.7% stake in ExxonMobil, which is responsible for 2% of global carbon emissions. The company also invests in gun manufacturing businesses. This shows a double standard. BlackRock's main concern is its profit, not whether its investments are harmful or beneficial to society. Since 1999, BlackRock has seen impressive growth of 7,539%. Today, the company uses a unique software known as Aladdin, Asset, Liability, and Debt Derivative Investment Network, which helps manage risk and forecast future investments. This software calculates data from around the world and provides reports on where it's safe to invest and where there are risks. More than 50,000 users, including major companies, use this software, managing over $2 trillion in assets through it. Japan uses it to regulate its $1.5 trillion pension fund, and major U.S. companies like Apple, Alphabet, Google's parent company, and others rely on BlackRock's Aladdin system. You might wonder why there aren't many media reports about BlackRock despite its size and influence. This is part of the company's policy. Larry Fink prefers to keep the company out of the media spotlight to avoid scrutiny of its decisions. BlackRock controls 90% of the media, owning significant shares in major media houses like Fox, CBS, and Comcast. This control ensures that media outlets do not publish unfavorable news about BlackRock. So this was a comprehensive look at BlackRock and its founder, Larry Fink.